Hey witches, this is Dawn, and I wanted to talk about my experience with Winter Solstice this year. Normally, it's just different. This year, I don't know, maybe you have experienced this. Please let me know down below, definitely. Um, but this Winter Solstice, I went to bed and I just felt the energy was so intense, I could not sleep. I didn't get to sleep until about 3 in the morning the next morning. And then I only slept like 3 hours. So it was weird. It was intense. It was not pleasant. It was just, I don't know how else to describe it except for intense. And then just recently we had a full moon. Wow. I felt like I'd just been to a spa. It was just so beautiful and bright, right? Hopefully you saw it, but it was so bright outside. It looked like the sun was coming up. It was just beautiful. And I just felt this warm, comforting feeling, and I slept really well. So I just wanted to share that, and I was wondering if anybody else had felt anything like that. And I felt like, oh, what's the word? Felt like afterwards, after the winter solstice was over, the next day, I felt like there was a release, like relief, because this year has been very intense for me. Anyway, not just what's going on politically, but what's going on in my own personal life. I felt the lessons that I've learned from Saturn is that, if I don't create my own freedom, outward things are going to come squish me and control me and restrict me. But I don't have to be restricted, that I have the freedom to choose. And that is so key. I have the freedom and the power to choose a different life. And I felt like that really came to a head winter solstice. And afterwards, I felt like, yeah, it's time to take action. I've really been working on my shadow inner working and looking at my life and feeling stuck all the time. Just feeling like not only do I not have opportunities, but I felt like I didn't have the motivation, I didn't have the desire to even better my life. And I felt also that part of that is self-love and self-nurturing. So I need to do more of that. And I was just thinking about, when you fall in love, you want to send that person notes, little love notes, right? Send them a little card, gifts. You think about them all the time. You probably have a million pictures of that person, the person that you're in love with, and you do things for them. You take action. You go the extra mile to show your appreciation and your love for them, right? Um, so why wouldn't we do that for ourselves? A lot of times what I see, not only in my own life, but in my students that come to me and go through self-mastery for witches, they are taught, and we're all pretty much taught from childhood, that you have to sacrifice to be unselfish. That if you don't allow little Johnny to play with your most favorite toy, then you're being selfish. And parents try to teach their children not to be selfish. And I completely understand that, and I'm all for it. We need to teach our children how to be compassionate and to share. I get that. But what ends up being the belief inside our heads, not everybody, I'm not going to say everybody, but a lot of people, is that I have to give away what I need, want, and desire, give it up in order for this other person to get what they need, want, and desire. Now, I have a student who has an older sister who does a lot of gaslighting. She's a narcissist, and she was brought up in this family where my student was taught by her own mother to sacrifice for this older sister. and I won't go into details because it's not important. But what is important is that she learned that she didn't count. She was not important enough to do nice things for herself. That she had to give that up in order for the older sibling to have what the older sibling wanted, not necessarily what she needed, but what she wanted. I know there was a lot of ego going on in there. So as an adult, she had to learn that she is important. She had to self-nurture and self-care and self-love and free herself from the demands of this older sibling. And she did it. She did it. It was so cool to see that she got free from that bondage that she had. I don't know if bondage is the right word, but this obligation she felt and she was taught by her mother that she had to give up for this older sibling. And a lot of times we do that for our children and our spouses, and that is not necessarily a bad thing. But if you're not loving yourself, you're giving out of lack. So not only do you need more love for yourself, but you're giving away what you already need, what you really need. So what I teach my students is some exercises and techniques that they can do to self-love and build that self-confidence and that self-nurture where you feel emotionally comforted by yourself, your own self. You're not looking for other people to do that for you. It's not wrong for to expect your spouse or your children to be loving and compassionate towards you as the parent. But what I'm saying is that you don't need it. You can be happy without that other person nurturing your emotional needs. So what that does is it fills you up to overflowing. And then you give out of the overflow of love for yourself. Get it? So you first take care of yourself, and then you can judge whether this is for my highest good to give to this other person. And most of the time, it's going to be, yeah, you can do that because you have so much love and energy for yourself. You can give without feeling deprived or guilty or any kind of hurt or disappointment or frustration or any of those emotions because you're giving out of love and you have plenty of energy. And I tell this analogy, story, whatever. So if you worked a long, hard week, maybe overtime or something, and you're planning on just relaxing over the weekend because you need to rejuvenate, and your friend comes along and says, "Hey, I'm moving this weekend. Can you help me?" If you say no, do you feel guilty, like you're being selfish? If you have enough love for yourself, you would be able to say, I can't do it this weekend, without having to give excuses. Hey, I'm doing this, whatever. Without giving excuses, you can just say, no, I can't do it this weekend. I'm sorry. Because, and without feeling guilty, because you're loving yourself by saying that, and you're in a place where you can judge whether you are being selfish by not helping. Just making an assessment of what's going on in your life. Do I really need to take the weekend off, or do I have enough energy to help my friend move? Hopefully that's clear. Okay. And it's really about a feeling. You feel good about helping your friend. Yeah, I can do that. I just, give me tonight to sleep, and then tomorrow morning I'm there. Okay, so you know yourself whether you can handle it or not. But self-nurturing yourself gives you the opportunity to say no without feeling guilty, because you're making this assessment about what is for your highest good and whether you can give or not. Okay, so I hope that's clear. I think I went off topic. Oh, maybe. I don't know. Okay, so anyway, what I wanted to talk about is winter solstice, and I feel like I'm coming out on the other end, and I'm building myself up. I feel motivated. I'm doing a lot of writing, and I'm making videos. But I haven't been making videos because I'm working extra hours to be able to take the holiday off. Otherwise, I have to use paid time off, PTO. And if I don't use it, then I get a big fat check at the end of my at my anniversary. So trying to conserve that because money's nice, right? Okay, so I just wanted to talk to you about that and wanted to know if you had any kind of experience through winter solstice and through this full moon. It felt so beautiful and just so calming, and it just felt like my energy is just soothed and just feels good. Okay. So let me know. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your comments down below. Do something today that makes you feel good and brings you joy. I love you all. And until next time, blessed be.